Hello and welcome to TaleTeller Media. This is the big reveal. This was TaleTeller's universe, and now it has become a media conglomerate, as such as it is. So I want to thank you all for showing up, and because my expertise is kind of talking off the dome, I don't generally prepare, a script. Um, I'm going to have a little moral support team that's going to help me out so that we can have some conversations here and I don't stare into the void. So if you're familiar with my work from Ex Witness Awake, or if you know Fixing My Faith channel, you know that um, I lost my train of thought. Let's form a new train. Um, you know my work talking about the ex Jehovah's Witnesses and their work doing that as well. So this is a new endeavor that I've taken on. I've had this channel for about close to a year now, and it is my creative endeavor to write stories. That's something that I've wanted to do for years, and I'm happy to say that I've taken the steps to make that happen. So, we bringing somebody in here. Okay, so hello.
Well, hello. I think I'm somebody.
You are somebody.
I'm somebody. Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello. So, let's do some introductions so, we can know who we're talking to, who we're watching here.
Well, I'm Ryan. Nice to meet everybody. I'm a former Jehovah's Witness. That's
There
how
we
I
go.
met Jonathan out here on these internet streets, and we've
Mhm.
become fast friends. And I'm really excited I can be here to support his new venture.
Thank you so much. Next.
Hey yo. Sorry, it's a little delayed for a second. Sorry.
MJ.
Uh, Hi, how are you guys? How's everybody doing?
Hello,
I'm
hello.
Good to see
MJ.
you.
Right.
Short, caramel, and cute. You better know it.
Indeed.
Yes.
And Cirrus?
Hi, I'm
Uh,
Cirrus. I also originally met Jonathan through the Apostate Coalition. I am also a writer, mostly for
I don't
fun,
know. Go ahead.
and I'm here to support Jonathan in his new endeavor.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate any support that I can get from
I'm
my
sorry.
friends.
You guys asked introductions. That's why I didn't hear him. I don't hear him. I don't know why.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's why. But
Is it
I'll do
working
it
now?
real quick. So I'm MJ. I joined the XJW community about 3 years ago. I came across Jonathan because I recognized his sexy voice and his
oh yeah.
beautiful face. And I met him through really good people, and I've been doing YouTube for a while now. But I'm here to help him, here to support him, and we're here to support each other. I'm glad that you guys are all joining in and supporting as well. Um, but that's pretty much my intro. I'll leave all the talking to somebody else. Yeah.
I see my beautiful wife in the chat there. Thanks, baby.
Wendy. Hello.
So, why am I doing this? I have been doing stories for a couple of years, off and on, and hello, Joe and Fran. And it just brings enjoyment to me. Like I really love doing it. I may be a little bit of a hog for the attention I get if it's a good story. So I like the kudos, just like anybody else. Um, I'm still working on my style and trying to improve, and as you go, you get better and better. So that's my hope. Um, so what we have now is a website. That's new. We're revealing that today. Uh, if my producer would be so kind, we have TaleTeller Media. Now, before it was TaleTeller's Universe, and I don't know, I like that name because it kind of included um, the universe part was sort of like for science fiction stuff. But I've been sort of gravitating away from the science fiction a little bit and going more towards the psychological stories, the horror stories. Usually, I like to throw in a little bit of comedy. The sci-fi is still going to be there, but it's just going to. I think people really enjoy listening to horror stories and that sort of thing. It's very popular these days, and I'm happy to do it. So, but you can see, unfortunately, I don't have control over because of an issue with my sound. So my wonderful producer there is showing that off. But the idea is that it's going to be a community, not just myself. While it'll be mostly myself, I've included some people that um, are writers, people that like to do voice work and that sort of thing. And if we can show off and highlight other people's work, I'm happy to do that because what do they say? Like all ships, something about tides raising all ships. I don't know, whatever that is. Anybody?
Something like that.
Something like that.
There's some saying out there about
I'm
Yeah.
saying like that.
ships. I don't know what they are.
They go to the same harbor or something.
There you go.
There we go.
So,
Saris knows.
my first experience with doing narration work was in 2016. There is a podcast called the Dune Steve Audio Fiction Magazine with Big Anklovic and Rish Outfield. They kind of inspired me to get into this because I really enjoyed the banter that these two friends would do. They were friends from college, and they'd been doing it for many years, and just to the experience of being part of a story, to do voices and that sort of thing it was just really satisfying. It just kind of like it's sort of scratched an itch creatively to do that. So I don't have their stuff to show right now, unfortunately, but I will put a link in the description as far as their work is concerned. Rish Outfield is a great voice actor, and he's a writer. So he has several published works. He's done a lot of voice work. He actually was generous enough to provide me with some public domain stories. So because I just received them like this morning, I didn't have time to really do anything with them. And they're a little bit on the long side. They're about a half an hour to an hour. And rather than, listen to something while we stare at the screen for half an hour, I'm going to prepare them, and make them available on the website.
Sweet.
But I really appreciate their inspiration, and hopefully I'll do justice to this endeavor.
I'm sure.
I'm
So-
sure you will.
So let's start off by showing one of the stories. Now, this is one that was published before, but the reason I'm going to show it first is because this is the first story that I narrated that was somebody else's work that I know, and she's right there. This
Oh.
is Saris's story. So, find it.
Yeah, I'm digging the stories. I've really gotten into them.
They're really great. I love them.
Hmm
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
There's been a few times where like even like the little stories I've gotten through it. I'm like, wait, I don't get it. What am I missing? And then I'm like, I get it. But I love that. Yeah, like I like that I have to really think about it in this one little minute. I'm like, what did I miss? Now I've gotten it after listening it 2 more times.
They
Okay.
really stick with you.
Yeah, same here.
So this one is called Off the Path, and
I liked the progression of the progression on your visuals. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, they've been really good.
that's been a lot of fun too. I'll talk about that too, like the AI stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to make these things. I don't know. I just like them. I can do drawings, but the amount of time necessary to do that and put out good work, it
Yeah,
would just
and then-
eat up my time. So like I don't hand draw them. But so Shauna, if you could bring up Off the Path,
Hmm.
please and thank you. It's on the second in the 31 through 40.
Yeah, I'm just talk amongst yourselves there while I would just pull this one up. Off the path,
Okay.
you said, Jonathan?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
So the interesting thing about microfiction is fitting so much context in such a short amount of time. The reason I ended up writing Off the Path was because I was very inspired by Jonathan's writing microfiction. At the time, he was doing a challenge to write 100-word stories, and I was like, that sounds interesting. So trying to fit as much information in the story that you need in just 100 words was very challenging, and also requires you to really trust your audience that they don't need everything spelled out for them. I feel like a lot of modern media doesn't trust their audience as much, and oftentimes will spell out things even if there is a visual component that clearly details what's going on. So microfiction does not allow you to do that. So this was an interesting challenge for me to write, and I really appreciate Jonathan giving me that opportunity to do that. And then
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was like, I was surprised as I showed it to you for fun. You're like, oh, can I feature to this? I was like, okay, cool.
Because people would think, like 100 words, that's easy. Is it though? To get exactly 100 words? Because you have to pick your words carefully and get a story across effectively. Because trust me, I've tried some, they're terrible. So you have to go back and kind of fix them because they're like, that doesn't really work. It's got to sound natural. You can't have well, anyway, we'll
You can't just
we'll
ex
listen to this
machina
one.
everything.
That's right. Okay, so here's the first one.
Off the Path, written by Cirrus, performed by Jonathan Lee Wilson. He found her some ways off the path. "I'm sorry," she bellowed, eyes full of tears. "The flowers were so pretty. I didn't think I'd get lost." "You were very brave," he soothed. "But next time, don't leave the path without me." He picked up the crying child, making stony eye contact with the creature behind her. It licked its maw, but the man remained unfazed. Recognizing the eyes of a predator, the creature turned and ran. "What was that?" "Just a little something moving. Nothing for you to worry about." He carried her through the woods, back to civilization.
Yeah. I appreciated this one because you're thinking oh, it's a monster, it's a wolf, whatever. But sometimes the predator is right there next to you.
Right, the real predator isn't in any kind of disguise.
Yeah. That once again, I had to really trust my audience to understand which one was the predator, which I'm so grateful everyone does. But I feel like the music that you added really brings so much more out of this story, especially when it comes in. Every time it makes me feel just a little uncomfortable and a little eerie. So I really appreciate that you took something I wrote and elevated it with your artistry and art craft. It didn't take a lot, but you added so much more.
Added more depth.
I think I found that on YouTube somewhere. I was like, that'll work. I like that. That works well with that story. So
it was good.
I do enjoy like a full cast sort of a thing, or with some sound effects, as opposed to just like a straight read. Because even a good story can sometimes just be, like you need a little something to really your mind focuses on. And also we all know how music can affect the emotions, so putting in the right place can really really have a good effect.
Oh, we know all about how music can play into emotions. or not elicit emotion, maybe I should say.
Yes.
Hey,
okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I know this is a little random. You mind if I leave and come right back in?
You do you.
I'm having problems. Like I've been waiting for Jonathan's mouth to stop moving because like I don't hear him. So like I wait for him to stop moving so that I don't interrupt him when I talk. So I figured if I leave, maybe I'll come back and it'll fix everything. We'll give it a try, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know enough sign language to do it that way.
I'll be right back.
All right. Let's pick another. So what I'm doing on this this broadcast too is I'm releasing some that haven't they're just unlisted links. So people are get to see them for the first time here, and then I'll dole them out as I can. I gotta find this.
There we go.
Sorry, I just have to kind of navigate my.
I'm just trying to share your link.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes, I'm gonna pop it in the chats. Actually, it is pinned. It's pinned up top there.
Oh, perfect.
At least in my chat, it is. Yeah, I think actually, Sirius, I think yours was one of the ones I had to. There was 2 of them. I remember specifically. I had to watch twice because I was like, "What did I?" I was like, "Oh," It's like then you're like, "Ooh," then you get a completely different feeling because now there's no like, curiosity. Now like, "Oh darn, okay, well that took a drastic turn. That went from 0 to 100 in 59 seconds."
So the fun thing for me is like with usually when I write, especially nowadays, I typically use the same cast of characters, and for each one they typically represent something metaphorical or esoteric. And so for me, I know exactly who these 2 characters are in this story. They have unnecessary years of backstory, and just to be like, you guys are only meeting this 30-second snippet. It's like, these are 2 people that I have known their whole lives, and you guys are seeing as if you 2 are also on the road and you know nothing about these people. And so that's fun for me also, to be like knowing who these 2 people are, what they represent, what this creature of the wood represents for me. And it's just like, you guys get none of that, which is fine because you don't need it to enjoy this story. So I really appreciate that you're able to go back and see a little bit more.
That's interesting how you already have like these characters have their own lives really, or their own, like an archetype, I guess, of sorts for you. But to us, they're just like these little, like you said, little micro story.
Right. It's as if it's like if you see someone in a graveyard, right, and you see them at a gravesite, and you know that there's so much history there for that person at the gravesite, but you're just walking through the graveyard. You know nothing about that person outside what you see. And that's fair. I feel like that's probably what it is for a lot of writers, where it's like they've lived with these characters in this universe for a long time, and no matter how much they put on the page, you'll never know them in that same way. If that makes sense. Which in some cases is probably good.
Yeah. Some things people would not want to know about me. Welcome back, MJ.
What's up?
Got those skeletons in the closet.
I can hear them. Okay.
Don't we all? Oh, good.
We've all got some skeletons in the closet.
Yes, we do. That's the truth.
Cool.
Okay, so if you could please bring up Midnight Caller, producer Shauna. Now this is one I've been. I like to do a little bit of accents in my.
I think your accents bring a lot into the stories too.
For whatever reason, my guys tend to sound like they're from like Brooklyn or New Jersey or something. I don't know why. They just kind of do it,
Well, the zombie story sounded, I don't know, kind of Maine. I guess.
yeah, that was definitely like a Maine.
I liked it.
Actually, that one came up. I mean, we could do that one too. That one came up because I was listening to a Stephen King story, and it's the one, I forget what it's called, but they did a movie up where there's this town in Maine, and they're caught in this storm, and then this person comes to town, and he's just like, it's a good story, but they all kind of have that accent, so that's just inspired me to write a story with that accent. That's it.
I think I know the one you're talking about. Did it have a made-for-TV movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's burned in my brain forever. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah, it's basically like the devil, and they want children. He wants like a child.
Oh yeah,
I remember that. That was
yep.
Oh, Darth Magog says his ship just landed and he's
Welcome
heading
back to the Midnight Call on Rhode Island.
Sorry.
Kind of breaking up. Island's 106.9. This is Herbie West, your host with the most. We've got Charles Ward on the line. Go ahead. Herbert, I must warn the people. The dead will rise and soon. Okay, buddy, this is an overnight show, but come on. The dead will rise? And it's Herbie. Yes, Herbert. Our loved ones will walk the earth and feed on the living. Okay. That's enough from you, Charlie. My producer says Ma's online too. Hey, Ma. How are you doing tonight? Ma? Are you okay?
Definitely. I love the
Midnight
accent, bro.
Caller. So if you are familiar with the works of H.P. Lovecraft, you'll recognize that name of what is the name of that? Dexter Ward? I've already forgot
Sounds
what it is.
familiar.
Yeah, it's a character from one of his stories. So I wanted it to be sort of an otherworldly thing call-in show, and it also takes place in Rhode Island. So I did a little research and looked up Rhode Island accents to get the idea right, and tried my best Rhode Island accent. And I don't know, it's a fun little story.
It's fun just to do it too, like just to sit down and figure out what voices will click, and just you may
Accents
look
are
like a
hard.
madman. You may
Yeah,
look
they
like a
do.
madman if somebody walks in and sees you trying to create different voices, but I mean, it's a good practice. It's I love it, bro. Like the way that you change your voice and accent, and just it's
Mhm.
just like what she was saying about the music. It just brings the story to life.
Exactly. And
Something
accents are difficult. Sorry. They're
No,
not
no,
as
you're good.
easy. Just accents are hard to do, to stick to one. Okay, you pick the accent, but then you've got to make sure you keep that accent up the entire time you're in that character.
Yeah, it's tricky because you can just sort of you're doing good and then you just sort of fall off. What is that voice anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, the more you do it, the more you do it, the more you have to compare with native speakers also of that, because that's one of those things where I am not from Maine, that works perfectly for me. But if you're from Maine, they might catch little things that you don't recognize. So the more invested you get, the more you have to check those tiny little things. But for this story, that was perfect. And
Mhm.
also the sound effects, because the gunshots right before he switches to the next caller. Oh!
Right?
And
Yeah.
clearly he missed that, but I didn't, and I was like, oh no.
Mm-hmm. We heard
Practice.
that.
Well, I just picture a morning show where they have all kinds of zany stuff going on in the soundboard. So
You gotta talk
Kind
to your wife and kids with that voice now every day.
I'll see what I can do. Someone was
I don't know
saying
how
that
long this
the
is.
Russian, Darth Magog says the Russian accent is tough, but I like to talk like I'm from Russia and speak this way.
Yeah.
With a little
Yeah.
practice, you can sound passable.
You do
Your
a good
wife
loach.
must like that one.
But
You
what
do
did
a
you
really
say?
good loach.
I said your wife must like that one.
Oh yeah, she's that takes me back to her and I were doing English accents one time, and our second oldest was just like, "Stop it! What are you doing?" We were just going back and forth. He's like, "Quit it! Why are you doing that?" You remember that, Wendy? Okay. Anyway.
She's like, please
Thought
don't.
I mentioned
Oh, she's
we
like,
have
"Please don't." Okay.
somebody
All right.
just backstage. If another guest when we have a moment.
Oh yeah.
They're not connected, so I guess they're just hanging out in this back. They're in the green room, watching from the
The
back.
back room, the small room. Remember that?
Yep.
Oh no, don't talk about that.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so I'd like to share a couple more of the shorts, and then
Do so.
my son and I, my son James, he's my youngest. He loves to make make videos. He'll have more followers than me, I'm sure, because he's a smart kid. He's a little too smart for his own good because he can get into pretty much anything. He stole my TikTok when I had TikTok back when. And
Oh yeah, I remember.
yeah. But I actually made a hashtag. James stole my TikTok. So we the other day did a story. I was like, hey, you want to record a story? Sure. So we just got down in front of the mic and just talked, and then I animated it a little bit. So that's going to be something that on Patreon that I'll release. Actually, I have a Patreon,
Awesome.
and so I haven't worked out the details of exactly what I'm going to do, what the pricing is going to be, but of course have videos released, about a week in advance if I can. And I hope to make merchandise with characters I've come up, whatever. There's rewards to be had. So if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, that would be great. I right now have 2 people supporting me on Patreon, so it's not exactly the most. But those little amounts, they add up and they really help.
Your Patreon linked
Right.
anywhere for the chat?
Maybe
That would be helpful.
Shauna can grab that when she gets a chance. Am I cutting out?
A little bit.
A social page. Do you have a social page too?
It's all on the website, actually. So if you go
Okay.
to TaleTellerMedia.ca, then you can find all that information and all the links. So the idea is to make that a hub that I'm going to have mostly my work, but as I have people, as I mentioned, like Rish, there's somebody I've worked with before, Tina Kolakowski. I don't know if she's here, so if you are, hi. She actually was gracious enough to record a story, and she'll send that to me later. So I'll produce that one. It's a werewolf story, I'm told. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Mhm.
And yeah, more people showing up. Yeah, so you just click on the Patreon. That it's still set up for my old X Witness Awake stuff. But as I find time, I'm gonna update it so it shows, to cover all my creative endeavors.
Right. Yeah. Awesome.
So while we wait for the next story, I do have a question.
Yeah.
What about the supernatural and horror really draw you in as a writer?
That's a good question.
It's something I couldn't do before because my background as a Jehovah's Witness, that was all considered evil and bad. And then I came to realize later in life that, say, for instance, you're watching a movie like The Exorcist or something, which I've never seen, but I kind of get my stuff out of the zeitgeist. You pick up little clips here and there, you see things, but that's something I would never be allowed to watch. But when you think about it, it's just somebody came up with an idea and they wrote a story, and it's fun.
Right.
So
I'm on the same boat.
yeah, it's like, am I going to write about everything in the occult? Probably not. But fun little ghost stories. Okay, why not? People enjoy it. I enjoy making stories for people, so that's what I'll do.
I have one more horror and supernatural related question.
Okay.
So oftentimes writers, especially people who tend to write about horror, tend to write about things that scare them personally, as if like they need to write about it in order to get it out of their system. Do you find yourself writing about things that make you uncomfortable or frighten you in any way?
Yeah, because actually those type of movies, like Paranormal Activity, no thanks. I wouldn't watch that because it gives me the creeps. So maybe it's therapeutic to write some things down and just kind of reduce it to it's just a plot device. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know where it's gonna go exactly, or where. Is Tina there?
Tina?
Yeah, she's the one who she does the voice work. So we actually did a story back in. I think she was involved in the one. It was called. What was that called? Wiki History, and that was done. It was a real kind of a hard one to do. It was basically like an audio version of like being on a forum, and so people would. It's a time travel story. So I believe she was in that one, but also there was a story done by Big Anklovic back when I'm drawing a blank here. What's Ziggy
That is
Stardust? David Bowie.
Yeah, that one
Back
messed
when
me
David
up.
Bowie died, he wrote this story where it's basically like this alien story, like like a David Bowie type alien. And Wendy was in that, and Tina was in that, and it was a lot of fun. It took me forever to produce, but that goes with cutting out all the M's and Ahs and sniffles and things like that. But yeah, so we've had a little experience working together that way, and
Cool.
yeah, she's a writer and a voice actor, does podcasts, so I'm happy to add her to the fold.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
So, okay, let's bring up another little story, why don't we? So, if we could go
Bonjour.
to
Bonjour.
controlled environment, please. It's the next one up from the list in the studio.
Does it show?
Does it work
Yeah,
for
how
you?
do you do that?
Yeah, I was wondering.
I'm a
It's
guy,
not-
so maybe that's
it's
why.
something to do with Google Chrome. It's through
Oh,
Google
okay.
Chrome. Yeah, I can turn it off, but
That's neat.
Really are magic.
it is magic.
What if I
Yeah.
do with these? Is this better?
Ooh.
And it won't do it if I do it that way.
Visual alone brings back childhood memories.
Controlled Environment by Jonathan Lee Wilson. Today flew by so quickly, like someone turned the sun to 3x speed. I'd had the day off from my job at the job factory, so naps, TV shows, and bathroom breaks were the order of the day. Aside from my lunch catching fire on the stove, the day was fairly uneventful. I think I should get at least a little exercise. It keeps me happy. The landlord just had a pool installed, and it's ready for use. I've been in this damn pool for so long, my arms and legs will soon give out. Some bastard stole the ladder.
Now,
Controlled
do you guys know what this means?
I'm not sure. That's the first time I'm seeing this one.
Have you
Yeah.
ever played The Sims?
Oh!
I haven't.
I
get it now.
haven't.
My partner's a huge Sims fan, so yep, it makes sense. I was just having childhood memories because my mom also burned her meal on the stove in that exact way. So
Big Raging Inferno?
Wow.
yes, twice.
Yeah, so I don't really play it too much, but I mean I know about it. But I'll clue you in what it means, MJ. So in that game, you would have characters that would go into a pool, and then you could just be a jerk and take the ladder away, and they would just like be in there until they drowned because they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of that, but that's
You
pretty
become the ultimate jerk. That's
right.
crazy.
Playing God.
I knew
Waterlogged to
something
death.
was up because they said Job Factory. So my very first thought was a game like Portal, where it's like
Oh,
the character wakes up in a controlled environment, but everything's broken. So I was like, maybe this is like Aperture Science before that all shut down. But yeah, all of that is stuff that happens in Sims on a regular basis, and that was pretty great.
that is pretty interesting. That's
I
That's
think if there's
interesting for
been
sure.
some simoleon in the background or whatever the Sims conversation style is, a little bit in the background, people might have caught it a little bit more.
Yeah, that was
But
actually
yeah,
I looked for a clip on YouTube of like somebody like drowning or whatever, just like some kind of a noise. That's why the music was a little different. Just to kind of get that. It's fun.
that was good though. I liked it.
All right. Next one Let's
how
go
do you
with
have?
Sorry.
I just wanted to ask, how do you have these on your channel? Are they in different playlists? I mean, they just come across my FYP, so I just click them as they come. But if
Oh,
somebody wanted
these
to
ones
go,
are all unlisted links. The ones that I've been showing.
oh, these are unlisted. Okay.
Yeah, these last
They're
few.
premieres.
So I'm going to schedule them to, except for series was listed before. But I wanted to make it worthwhile to people that took the time to watch this. They get to see some stuff a little ahead of time, sort of
Right.
like being the Patreon.
Behind
Yeah,
the
right.
scenes.
I used to do that too with memberships.
Yeah. I don't have enough subscribers yet to do anything. And if people are willing to get things a little bit early and support the channel that way, maybe I won't have to deal with like mid-roll ads.
Oh,
'Cause,
right.
oh man, I tell you, when I'm listening to something and then it just goes to an ad, it really takes me out of the moment. I'm just like, wow.
Oh man, it's the
Yeah.
worst.
It's like I will not buy your product out of spite because you took me out of
Yeah.
what I was listening to.
Yeah, now I'm just gonna block that ad. Like I'm never gonna watch that ad again. Because especially catches me off guard when I don't realize it's happening. When something changes, and I'm like, wait a minute, who is this person and what are they talking? Oh, you got me.
Yeah, got
You
it.
got
So we'll see. Like, I don't know what the future is going to bring as far as ads are concerned, but that's a bridge.
Yeah, and I think YouTube now is allowing 500 subscribers to start
Oh,
that
500?
revenue.
No.
I think.
Okay.
But I think it has to come with a combo of something.
Like certain number
Whether
of views, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that's how far they dropped it from 1,000 to 500, I believe.
Okay. That's a little easier to get to. So
Yeah.
if you could bring up identity, please.
I will. I just want to add to MJ's thing. We do have another channel and we're trying to monetize there. So there is 2 tiers, but to get ads revenue, it's still 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch
Okay.
hours. If you get 500 subs and I think it's 3,000 watch hours, then they'll let you start your memberships and shopping and supers and all of that stuff. So just to clarify, the bar is still 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. And I can confirm that James actually does in fact have more subscribers than you, Jonathan. So
Yeah, I figured.
okay. And which video did you want? I'm sorry, identity?
Yes, please, identity.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
It helps to have someone behind the scenes.
Some random like voice comes out.
Yes.
This is
Boy.
what I've said. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Writer questions. Oh, nope, never mind.
Oh, and also I want to mention before you click play, if anybody has any questions they want to ask me, in the chat, I'll be happy to answer, as long as it's not too embarrassing, I guess. Identity by Jonathan Lee Wilson. Catch the game last night, Bob? Jameson said, leaning against the water cooler. He trailed off as 2 police officers entered the room. Jameson, I keep telling you, my name is not Bob, said Ben. Sure thing, Bob. I gotta go, he said as he walked away. I'm Officer Smith. This is Officer Brown. We'd like to have a word with you, he said to Ben as he held up a poster bearing his name and face. Bob Stevens, wanted for first-degree murder, read the sign. Years later, the executioner recorded his last words. My name is not Bob. See, I think that's a real, terror, is to be mistaken for someone else and serving a crime you didn't commit. And that, unfortunately, does happen to some people.
Oh man, that happens far too often, especially with our justice system here in America. I don't know what it's like in Candida, but
Candida?
it's bad here.
Yeah. So that's spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Identity
happens.
erasure is one of my deep fears. Like,
What's that?
identity erasure is something
Mm.
that's one of my deep fears. That's something that I tend to like read about and write about a lot, right? What makes you who you are and what it takes to keep who you are in the midst of people erasing you. So the idea that he has that Ben has that changed at all? He's been Ben this entire time, but people refuse to see and acknowledge him as Ben. Terrifying. And we know nothing about Bob. We don't know if Bob's a twin. We don't know if Bob's just a guy who stole his identity. Nothing.
Mm.
And also, I used to work at a bank, so seeing the ways people have had their identity stolen in real time, terrifying. So terrifying. Just
Well, we
And
didn't have
that's
our identities. Like as JWs, we weren't able to really have like true identities.
Mhm.
So like now being
Mhm.
able to form one, the idea of somebody taking that from me is, I don't know, just feels even more sinister than it did before.
and I find when I write stories, I don't want to make all the answers like crystal clear and like every little detail, because leaving some things to interpretation of the reader, it kind of involves you and you can make your own headcanon. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of important because you get invested in the story. Like, I wonder what that meant, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you could please bring up The Living Things. That's the next one on the list there. Now, this is one done by somebody that I found in the Drabblecast Discord. So if you're not familiar with it, a Drabble is a 100-word story. So it's
No,
another one of the places that has inspired me to do this sort of writing, is like weird fiction with like horror and comedy and sci-fi. And yeah, so this is a 100-word story, and then I voiced it and did a little production on it. So fire away.
The Living Things by F and Up, found in the Drabblecast Discord. We thought we were alone, the only planet known to contain life. Then someone claimed something fell from space. We thought it was a fake. It seemed so implausible that a creature could have an impenetrable iron-fortified exterior. We thought it was the only one. When others fell to Earth, the general public accepted their existence as fact. We thought they were dead, but a week after they fell, they woke up. We thought they would be slow. Things that size couldn't possibly move quickly. Scientists hypothesize that their intelligence isn't centralized. We thought we'd survive. Some might. Maybe.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
The
so
Living
this is that sort of cosmic horror which H.P. Lovecraft was best known for, because the scariest thing is the unknown. You know, that's why you find like in a movie, if they show the monster right away and it's just like, hey, I'm the monster, you're sort of like, yeah, okay. But if they sort of like hold off from that and make it mysterious and you just see a little glimpse here and there, it just
Mhm.
puts you on edge. It's just sort of like, what is
Yeah.
that? I don't know. So
Right, and
mystery
also
behind it.
yeah.
it also makes you question what it was that thing did to people, because it also keeps you guessing, like what really happened, what tragedy really happened. But then he like sells the story saying not many people survived. Like it's like gets you wondering, like, wow, that's cool. I
I
like
like
that.
everything we learn about the creature is through the failed assumptions of the humans.
Ooh.
That's really interesting. He doesn't tell us what it does. He tells us what they thought it would do and that it did not do that. So we don't learn exactly what it does. We just presume it's the opposite of what was assumed by the humans, but we don't really
Right.
know.
That's a good
He's speaking
point.
as if we already know, which is even better because in theory, the reader is also in that same situation, which we might not have known yet.
Mhm.
Well, when you leave things up to the imagination and that pit in your stomach, it can sometimes make the creature or the things that happened so much worse, in your own mind versus like when I saw it, for instance, back in the day, like the original, like on TV version.
Yeah.
more.
and like that was freaking terrifying. But then when at the end you saw this like weird like spider thing, I was like, oh, okay, well you blew it, because now I'm not afraid. I was afraid of that clown. That was creepy, but a spider, like whatever. But yeah, so your imagination can do such wonders. I mean, we know Armageddon. I had a lot of images of bad doom and gloom happening with Armageddon. So let that imagination run wild.
Every time there was a thunderstorm, that's what you thought of.
Like, oh, here it comes.
Yeah, I had that experience.
Times.
Hiding behind the couch because it was like a massive storm, and it's like, is it?
We're done. We're
Well,
doomed.
my
Oh,
vision
man.
was slightly different. My vision of Armageddon was so different growing up.
Really?
But still, oh yeah, because my dad's a huge like conspiracy theorist culture guy. So his whole idea was that it's going to be a giant race war. We're going to have to like kill people. So my
Ooh.
thought was
Like the
just
purge
yeah,
over
for
here.
real, running through the streets murdering people was what
Well,
I
hot
thought
damn,
Armageddon
Dad.
was gonna
The Hunger Games.
Exactly. It was
I
very
mean,
the Hunger Games.
the Christian nationalists would be okay with that, but
Mhm.
let's hope that Jonathan can keep us in a more like never gonna happen kind of sci-fi stories.
Sci-fi has always been my favorite.
I love it.
Always. There's this one
I really
movie I
love a good
remember.
sci-fi too.
It was a shark that can walk on water. You guys remember that movie? Just started like killing people.
Shark that
I
can
It,
walk
it
on
literally
water.
like goes on land and develops like legs
Land shark.
and mutates. Yeah, something like that. And it just it might have even been called Land Shark. I don't even remember. But that
That's funny.
was awesome. I could watch sci-fi movies like that all the time. Except for Sharknado, that's just whack.
A short video.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. All right, let's bring up another one. Oh, I already did that one. All right, this one. Let's do intrusive, please.
Okay, so I have a theory already. Because it's called intrusive, I'm going to assume it's about thoughts. So I'm hoping that I'm completely wrong.
Intrusive by Jonathan Lee Wilson, read by the author. Jennifer listened to the rhythmic tapping sound. Tap, tap, tap. Pools of crimson formed around her. No more screams from those people who bullied her mercilessly. The bruises finally started to heal, but the five resumed their unrelenting attacks. She had to do something. It was self-defense, after all. Her grip on the fire axe was still tight. Jennifer, are you listening to me? The ringleader asked, gripping Jennifer's hair. Yes, I'm listening, she grinned. Why are you smiling? The girl frowned. Behind her, the sign read, In case of fire, break glass. The axe called out to her.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was a crazy story. I like
That
imagine
was
everything.
amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Creation.
if you didn't get it, like her intrusive thought is she was imagining what she was going to do before she did
Yeah.
it, or I don't know if she actually did it. I left that up to the listener whether she actually went nuts. But I also wanted to establish that she had been abused by 5 people going a long time, and she thought she was done with that, but they came back and resumed.
Well,
You
sometimes those intrusive thoughts, they get to you.
Yes, they do.
I will say I had an experience similar to that in school. So I really relate to that. That is very much how it goes. But also on top of that, I really appreciate like you get a lot that this has been a history that has been going on for a while. I like that the thought is intrusive, but also that the action is intrusive, right? Like the physical action is intrusive, which is causing the intrusive thought. Um, it reminds me a lot of if you've ever heard the Ballad of Sarah Berry. It's it's great. It's about a popular girl who loses her mind, and it's very that where she ends up having these intrusive thoughts and ends up doing something very horrible in the end because of it. But I'm kind of losing my own train of thought about this one, but it was really good. I liked it a lot. You get a
I'm, su-
lot out of such a short amount of dialogue.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the woman who grabbed Jennifer's hair and pulled on it didn't automatically trigger something for her to act right there and then. So then the story just kept continuing, and then like she saw the axe, and it was like speaking to her, and that was just freaking. That was
It's
awesome right
calling to
there.
her.
Yeah.
And when I made the illustration for it, I was like Kubrick stare. That's what I need right there. So
Yeah,
that's.
that was good.
Does everybody know what the Kubrick stare is?
Yeah, very Clockwork Orange, right?
Yeah, it's basically looking under your eyebrows like this. You know,
It's,
it's
plotting.
very creepy.
Oh yeah, he does on The Shining too. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Shiny
have
It's
a
driving.
master's degree in losing your train of thought.
I'm like that too.
Me too. Oof.
I take a week to memorize my script. It's either that or I try my best to take cuts and look, and then take cuts and look again. My thoughts are all over the place.
I have to speak. I typically have bullet points, so because otherwise I have a lot of experience with just having to ramble.
I
Mhm.
tend to ramble.
But your
My-
stories can.
I'm a rambler.
My unedited videos are a lot of like 10 seconds of me going, what do I want to say next?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck were you saying? Oh, pardon.
All
But
right.
that's usually what you'll catch me in the middle going like, what was I saying? Like, oh,
Right,
dang, man,
right.
I was going somewhere too. That was good. That was a good thought. And I don't want to stop and rewind because that just ruins the whole thing. So I'm like, okay, we're just going to start a whole new train. It's that's what's happening now.
Gotta wait for
I have
that
a-
train of thought to pull back into the station.
Mhm. Toot toot.
Yeah, my
I have a
issue is
question.
I can't remember anything from 1 second to the next. So like trying to memorize the script, forget it. It's not going to happen. So I just talk.
No.
When you, Jonathan, when you come up with these
Yes.
stories, do you could be like driving somewhere or whatever. Do you have to pull over to write down what you were thinking,
I
or do
have
you
to.
automatically remember
No,
when you get home?
sometimes I'll be like, my process is I can be listening to a podcast or like a YouTube video or something, and I'm not trying to like copy it, but like a line of dialogue can sometimes do it, or like a premise. And it's just like, oh, that's pretty good. What if this happened? You know, it's like, and what do they call it? And then I think it's called.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where that comes from. I have actually like listened to pieces of music and sort of like monologue to myself, like, what is this music making me feel? And just like talk like
Hmm.
out loud, like kind of coming up with a story idea, just that. So there's all kinds of different ways you can be inspired. And does it
I
really
think talking
matter?
out loud is helpful. Like talking to yourself or just getting it out instead of in your head. That at least helps me because I get stuck sometimes in my head, and it's easier for me if I'm hearing myself say it like an actual conversation. Because otherwise, I'll just open 20 different doors inside of my head, and I'm like, oh shoot, where was I going?
I know that feeling.
Okay, so let's change directions here. If you could please bring up the James story, the story time with James and Jonathan. Because part of the reason that I'm doing this is because of my son too. Because I'm 52, I have a commercial cleaning business, and I'm kind of getting old for that. So to be able to do something creative
Aw.
that doesn't involve cleaning toilets, I'm happy to do that because ultimately I want to have more time with my family, not be up all night, but actually sleep at night. So we'll see where this goes.
Hello. How are you doing today, James?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Oh.
I thought we might do a little story time. Would you like that?
Yes. But this is gonna end. What? It's unlimited?
What are you talking about?
This recording can be unlimited.
It can be as long as I want it to be, yeah. So,
Once upon a time there was the little boy called James. The end.
well, that's a very short story.
Now end it.
No. We're gonna do a little more than that.
Once upon a time, there was a boy named James and a boy named Jonathan. The end.
Well, that's true. There was a boy named Jonathan and a boy named James. So I guess that's a true story, huh?
And Jonathan and James started to fly.
We started to fly. Okay. Let's save it for the story. So, you like to make stories, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And you like to make videos?
Yes.
Yeah. That's like your favorite thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's make a story together. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what should our story be about? Can you give me some ideas?
Us flying.
Us flying. Okay. What else can we be doing in the story?
Flying.
But why are we flying?
Because we are.
Because what?
We are.
Well, there's got to be more to it than that.
Spectrogram.
There's got to be a plot to the story.
Spectrogram.
Okay, you don't have to be too loud.
Sorry.
That's okay.
The louder the sound is, the bigger the sound waves. Like that.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I know that you like to make videos about sound waves too, don't you?
I like bite beats.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Okay, so we'll make a story about you and me flying.
And playing bite beats.
Well, I don't know anything about that, so let's try something a little different.
Maybe you should try a bite beat
Are we going to be flying a plane?
No, we're gonna be flying in midair.
Are we flying like superheroes?
No.
Yeah?
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay. All right. So let's see. Once upon a time, there were two superheroes.
What?
One was named Super Dad, and
Super
one was
Dad?
named Super James.
Super James?
Yes.
Wow.
And they were on a secret mission that involved them flying all across the world.
Wait, what the broad?
What?
How did you put a cup in
I think you're getting distracted, young man. So, Super Dad and Super James
quit.
were on. No, don't quit. We're on a special mission.
I quit.
No, that's not how it works. They were on a special.
I do quit.
No, don't quit. They were on a special mission to fly around the world.
Microsoft
To
Edge,
protect-
personal Edge.
Okay, that's not how this works. To protect the people of Earth. They use their special powers to defeat the evil Axolotl.
Evil Lottle Axel.
The evil Lottle Axel?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yes. He was a villain who wanted to take over the world and have it as his own.
Oh.
To be the ruler of planet Earth. But Super Dad and Super James could not allow this. Right?
Yeah.
So how do you think they would have stopped the evil Axolotl?
By playing a bite beat.
By a bite beat. I don't exactly know what that is. So
Bite beat is one-liner music.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
then.
they use sound waves.
All right.
Sawtooth waves, sine waves, triangle waves, and square waves.
Okay.
Sometimes pulse width modification waves.
Okay, I got it. So, Super Dad and Super James flew with their superpowers to the secret lair of Axolotl.
Of the secret layer.
And they said, Axolotl, stop what you're doing. We know what your
Oops.
evil plan is.
Oops, I dropped it.
That is okay.
What is 4K video downloader?
You are very distracted, young man. So, Axolotl said, no way.
This is too.
You can't stop me. I will rule planet Earth. I have a plan. And so Super Dad said, we will defeat you. We will use our special soundwave powers.
Soundwave powers.
Yes. And he said, take it away, Super James. And what soundwave? Oh, yeah, he's doing it. So he went.
The sound wave is saw waves.
He used his saw waves to cut Axolotl down, and he was able to defeat him. And they took him away to the super maximum evil person's prison.
Person's
And I
prison?
think that's going to be it. So the end.
The end. Are we gonna
Okay.
stop now?
I think we'll stop now.
Oh,
Okay. Say goodbye now.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
How are you gonna stop it though?
I will click the button. Bye for now.
That was the best thing ever. I've ever heard.
That was a lot of fun
That
to
was
do.
so precious.
I was cracking
This
up.
gives you an idea of what James is about. Like he like the other day he learned about the periodic table of elements, and he wanted a periodic table of elements so bad, but I couldn't get my printer to work. So Wendy was nice enough to actually draw it out by hand, but he's kind of a smarty pants, so he's like, this one's wrong. So he kept like hounding her to fix it. It's like, you spelled that this is a different element. Like, you have to go and fix it. So I had to go run to the store and get like correction tape so that she could fix it for him. And he
He's a
learns
smart
about like
boy.
sound waves and all sort of things. You know, like he's a fun guy. Hello, Tina.
Yeah, you should definitely make it a thing. Even I don't know. And it's just funny how he got distracted. Like that could be his superpower, maybe, or like even
Yeah.
like I was thinking in my head, I'm like a super dad and distracto boy. Like I don't know something.
Distracto boy. Yeah.
Oh my
Just-
god,
that'll
but I
be his
think that's
superpower.
perfect. That's a great idea. Find a way to turn that into some kind of
It
super.
turns the villains crazy. Like they can't stand it anymore. The
Well,
brain
like it
blow up or
distracts
something.
them. Like they can't keep their agenda straight because they keep getting distracted by whatever he puts in front of them with his imagination or something crazy like that.
He definitely has an imagination. So he's a lot of fun. He has some issues. He's autistic, and he was born with a heart defect. So he's had surgeries, and he had open heart surgery at 3.5 months. And so I used to work as a superintendent, and basically when I saw him born, I'm like, I quit. So I quit that so that I could spend time, just go on like paternity leave and spend time with him, because I'm like, I like this kid.
Yeah,
Sounds like
that's
a good
awesome.
kid.
That was really good, man.
Yeah.
I was laughing the whole time.
Same.
Yes, he does do that. He's got so much energy too. For like kid with health problems, he's just like he's bananas and he's jumping off the walls basically.
Keeps
How do you have
you
this
on your
energy?
toes.
He definitely keeps us on our toes.
I actually have to
So-
head out sadly, but I would love to keep like listening and watching. But
Oh, I
I have
like
my
that.
son's birthday to go to, so
Oh, say happy birthday to your son.
Yay.
Yes, happy
Yeah.
birthday. Thanks for coming. Good to see you,
yeah,
MJ.
Thanks
it
for
was
being
fun
Appreciate the
to see
support.
you guys.
Bye.
Of course, Jonathan, I got some ideas and stuff I want to run by you. I'll send you messages.
Definitely. And if you get a chance, anybody that sees this, check out MJ's channel. He's got good content.
Yes, do
Yes.
that.
The guy with the hat.
The guy with the hat.
XJWMJ.
All right, see you guys later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
So, and also thanks to Wendy, who is making sure that James isn't burning down the house. She took time out of her schedule today to make sure that he's looked after. So, because obviously, if I'm down here, I'm not upstairs with him. So, I
Yes,
appreciate you.
Parenting at its finest.
Yes.
Yes.
And thank you so much for just encouraging your son's interests. Like, I think we all have had the experience of a parent not quite being there or not quite understanding your interests. So it's so nice that even from an early age, you're like, this is what you're into. We're going to go full throttle into that and just let you explore who you are.
Mhm.
Like, that's brave, especially as a parent. And it's nice to see.
It is.
Yeah, we want to encourage him to, do the best that he can and have a good life. So, hopefully, this is all part of that master plan. If I get enough
Yeah.
support from people, then, I could spend more time with him.
And as you said before, there's many different ways that people can support this endeavor through there's a GoFundMe, you have a Patreon, and what
Yes.
else was there?
That's it for right now.
That was
So
it? Okay.
if you would like to, just help me out with like a one-time thing, I'd be happy to have that. So the GoFundMe is great for that. But if you're looking to come back regularly and check out my work, then maybe you'd like to join the Patreon, and I'll work out those details later. I gotta take the time to do it. We there was a lot of work getting the website in order, so I didn't have a chance to do everything.
And of course, the usual liking and sharing, because the more eyes
Yes.
on Jonathan's wonderful projects, the more opportunities he has.
That's a great point. Engaging is really important. Liking all the
Yeah.
way through. Like you have to watch time. YouTube watches that, and if you drop off early in a video, they consider that as like maybe not as worthy content. So watch the entire way, like, comment, and then sharing is also a little cherry on top.
Yeah, because this is supposed to be a bit of a fundraiser, but mostly it's just an awareness thing. Because I would like to get more subscribers, to get more views, and I do this so that people can enjoy it. And if I make this and I see that like 3 people have watched the video, I'm like, maybe that story was not so good. I need to go back to the drawing board, start over again.
Content
So,
creation can be difficult sometimes because we
It
look at
can
the
be.
number and decide whether or not that means it was worthy content. But sometimes it's just a matter of algorithm stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just wasn't in front of the right people.
Yeah, right. And if it doesn't get in front of the right people at first, they'll just kind of shelve it, sadly.
So actually, that makes me think. If you could, Shauna, bring up the GoFundMe, because I have things in there about the Reyes series, and
wonder
that's
where
kind of
that's
the
going.
reason. Pardon?
Oh, I just really like your Reyes series.
Oh, thank you.
Also, if you're into Jonathan's short stories, sometimes there's little Easter eggs and cameos in the Reyes series, which is fantastic.
Yeah. I didn't play it, but one of my first videos that I did was called Glitter, and a character in there was named Detective Reyes, and then that kind of sparked this idea that it would be sort of a detective that would get into the paranormal and sort of a supernatural deal. Not exactly. I don't want to make it exactly like that, obviously, because I want it to be its own thing. But it's set in Chicago, and I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun to do. But to do what I'm doing, to make it as an animated video, I have to use certain programs. I use Runway, and it's not exactly cheap. Like, if anybody has used AI, you know that you generally have to pay with credits, and you tell it, I want this, and then it spits out something, and either it's good or it's just ridiculous and doesn't work. Well, you still have to pay for that. You don't get to get your money back because the guy sprouted an extra arm or something. So it takes a lot of work. So I like to use the unlimited one, so that if I have ones that aren't working, I don't have to sweat it. Because generally these clips that they make are like 5 to 10 seconds long. Well, if you're making something that's 15 minutes long, you can tell how much you'd have to do to make it work. That's a lot of rendering. And the Reyes guy, it's my story, so I'm just patterned him after me, like his look anyway. Because why not? I get to be the hero in the story.
Why not? He has good hair too, just like you.
Well, thank you. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I want to show people that. And also what I wanted to do, I don't know how long we're going to be going yet, but I see that we don't have as many people watching, but I would like to read an excerpt from one of my stories that I worked on in the past that didn't get very far, but that's because I have a short attention span. And I usually have 1,000 things going. So these are stories that I'm going to return to when I have time. So I thought it'd be nice just you could see me actually do the reading rather than just play a video. So what do you think?
Yeah,
Liz?
definitely.
I love it.
Please.
All right. Let me bring up here. Okay, so this is the prologue from a story that I titled Under the Surface. It's kind of hard to say what it's about without giving away too much, but it involves a cop, it involves like a judge, and it involves a surgeon and like a criminal mastermind and kidnapping and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot to it. So let's just do it. Okay. This will do nicely, Alexander thought. It was a type of car that wouldn't garner much attention on the drive to his destination, yet would draw the right amount of attention once he set things in motion. Carefully watching his surroundings to ensure no observation from passers-by, he began his work. The Slim Jim Alexander had crafted yesterday made short work of the civic door lock. It was a short drive to the spot he had picked out for his snare. He parked about a block away from where he intended to place the car. Thankfully, it was only 10 minutes before some teenager wearing a hoodie of his own sat on a swing and lit a cigarette. He stared at the teen for a handful of moments before sighing audibly. He knew that his plan would be much easier with help from a second party. However, there was something exhausting about feigning interest in other people. It had been so long since he genuinely cared for anyone. People were either like tools to be wielded to accomplish his plans, or like sheep to be shorn when needed. When sheep eventually serve their purpose, even sheep eventually serve their purpose. I haven't read this in a while. All that remained for those used-up sheep was slaughter. They were nothing but food for those in control. This young man would be a useful tool. It was time to put his costume of kindness and friendly banter. Alexander waited a moment for the boy to get comfortable before exiting the car and walking in his direction. "Hello there. Might I borrow a smoke? I'm all out." "Yeah, all right," he said, retrieving a cigarette from the pack. "Thank you, I appreciate it. Not many young people would be so kind," he said as he took it from his hand. "I'm Alex. Nice to meet you." He pulled out a polished silver Zippo lighter and lit the cigarette with a flourish. "Jamar, my friends call me Jay." He amended his salutations. "Nice to meet you, Jamar. I'm meeting an old friend of mine here in a few minutes. We go way back." Jamar lazily swayed back and forth with half interest in what the man had to say. "We were always playing pranks on each other back in school. I owe him from the last time we met up," he said with emphasis on "owe." "My brother, he's always pulling shit on me. I get him back good, though." Jamar seemed to be replaying a particularly amusing memory in his mind. He smiled as he thought of it. "You understand. We can't let our brothers and friends win. We have to get them back." Alexander smiled his most genuine-looking smile he could muster. "Young man, how would you like to make $150 to help me prank my buddy?" Jamar looked at him suspiciously for a moment. "What do I got to do? I got nothing better going on right now." Alexander held out the bills in his hand to show the offer's validity. "Hide and then run. Simple." "All right. I could really use some cash. You got a deal." Okay. Different scene. Unit 114. Do you copy? He considered being busy with some paperwork for the next 30 minutes. It had been a long shift, and he was hoping to grab a bite to eat. He was so close to going home, kissing the kiddo goodnight and cracking open a beer. "Why does this always happen just before my shift is over?" he mumbled under his breath. Officer John Rodriguez placed his coffee mug emblazoned with the Panamanian flag on the cup holder and reluctantly reached for the receiver of his police band radio. "Unit 114, do you copy?" the voice repeated. 114 here. 1061, suspicious vehicle. There's a report of a dark blue Honda Civic abandoned in the center of Sheridan Park near the playground. 10-4, I'm close by, on my way. He looked at the handset for a moment and placed it back in its holder. "No rest for the wicked," he said to no one in particular. John sighed before finishing off the remaining contents of his coffee mug. Putting his SUV into gear, John pulled out from his favorite spot to lay low at the end of his shift. The section of dead-end road was quiet and hardly used. Only the occasional pedestrian paid him any attention. It would take him about 5 minutes to get from his current location. He wasn't in a huge hurry at this point. Thankfully, traffic was light tonight. The photo of his grandmother, daughter, and himself on last year's trip to Panama poked out from behind his computer terminal and caught his eye. In the photo, there were three of them. In the photo were the three of them standing near the canal. It was a good memory. His grandmother was born there, so when he had the opportunity to finally visit and see his heritage in person, he was all on board. If he knew what was good for him, he'd better let his grandma know he might be home late. Actual paperwork. Siri, call Abuela. My phone's actually trying to do that. John's 76-year-old grandmother, Audria, answered the phone on the first ring. She worried about the grandson she'd raised as her own child. He was all she had left of her daughter since she passed away 20 years ago. Hola, grandson. Are you on your way home? Sorry, Grandma. I got a last-minute call I need to check out. Some fool abandoned their car in the park. I shouldn't be long. I'll need to fill out some paperwork when I'm done. Hurry home, por favor. Isabel is asking for you. She won't go to sleep. She wants kisses from her papa. Can you put her on the line for me? Of course. Un momento. Moments later, Bella came on and excitedly said hello. Hi, Daddy. I miss you. I miss you too, sweetheart. How was your day? Good. We had fun in class today. Miss Jones said my painting was her favorite. Will you be home soon? I'm happy to hear class was good. I'm proud of you. I'll be home soon. I promise. Please be good for Abuela. I will, Daddy. I love you, sweetheart. I love you too, Daddy. Can you hand the phone back to Grandma, please? Okay, Daddy. Audrey returned moments later. I don't like when you're late, grandson. Being a policeman is too dangerous. You worry me. Why don't you find something else to do for work? All that matters is you take care of my beautiful Isabella and come home safe. Grandma, you know I need to help people. It's all I ever wanted to do. I learned that from you. You saved lives when you were a nurse at the hospital. Please tell Bella I'll bring her a treat home for breakfast when she gets up. I promise I'll be safe. Nothing has happened to me in 10 years. The sleepy village is almost boring. No reason to think something is going to happen now. You know something's going to happen. You better be safe. If you're not, you know what I can do with a shankla. If you don't know, a shankla is a sandal. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the Latin moms with their sandals. John shivered at the thought of his grandmother with a sandal at the ready. Thanks, Grandma. I love you both. Now with that business out of the way, he could focus on dealing with his 1061. It was cloudy, so the moon wasn't doing its job tonight. Visibility was iffy at best. He slowed to about 20 miles per hour once he passed the high school. He hoped to catch a glimpse of the scene before heading into the park. Sheridan Park wasn't that big or particularly interesting to see. He'd taken Isabella to play her several times, so he knew it well. As John turned onto Oak Street, he entered the park. Before long, the pavilion and then the play area came into view. Sure enough, there was a Civic idling on the grass. Whoever had left it thought that driving up the sidewalk and coming to rest almost under the swing set was a great idea. What if some teenagers had decided to hang out in the park after dark? Judging from the torn-up grass, the call from dispatch might have been a much more serious situation. John came to a stop and exited his Ford Explorer. He made sure to take along his mag light. There wasn't as much exterior lighting as normal, and he would prefer not to go in blind. Walking up, he could see the back seat was full of trash. The owner was a real slob. He carefully reached in the open driver's side window and turned the key to the off position. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw a teen in a hoodie quickly stand from the passenger's side to make a run for it. Stop, police, he called out. I'm not in the mood for a chase, he thought to himself as he rounded the front of the car. The kid in the hoodie made a straight line for the side of the public washrooms. John's maglite cast a beam through the darkness, bobbing up and down as he ran. Stop, I just want to talk to you. A moment after he cleared the washrooms to his right, he heard a distinctive popping noise from behind. The barbs of the taser penetrated his trousers, lodging deep in his thigh and right ass cheek. Intense pain surged into his body in pulsating waves. His muscles instantly cramped and he collapsed to the ground. What the hell? were the words that escaped his lips. His assailant continued to pull the trigger for about 3 seconds more. Trying to roll off of his stomach and onto his back, he caught a glimpse of a man's well-worn work boots. They were huge. Clearly, this was no teenager. Officer Rodriguez had almost gotten to a seated position when the man gave him another 2-second dose of voltage. The man had a flashlight of his own. Any attempt to identify him was met with a face full of blinding light. Good to see you, John. It's been a while. Been a while. Who are you? Not yet, John, not yet, is all he said. The man swung his heavy flashlight in a backhanded arc and connected with the side of John's head. Searing pain exploded in the policeman's skull. Moments later, a second blow connected with the back of his head. John collapsed to the ground, blood slowly trickling from the wound onto the grass. Looks like I'm going to have to take you in, sir, the man said sarcastically. You've got something that belongs to me, and I want it back, Officer Rodriguez. Paying that kid $150 to run away from the cop was the best money he'd spent in a while. He had all the pieces he needed. Looking further down the block at the teenager who had finally come to a stop, Alexander furrowed his brow. Now, what to do with young Jamar? So,
Yowza. The
You're
plot
leaving off on
thickens,
that?
right?
what's that?
I was like,
Damn.
wait, but what is gonna happen to Jamar? You see this man's face.
Yeah, it's probably not good, but I won't spoil that yet.
Also, he's 2 weeks away from retirement speech of, nothing happens, I'll be fine. I was like, oh no.
No, you didn't say it, did you?
Oh no.
Murphy's Law.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
So,
That was really good.
Thank you.
yeah. Especially I'm waiting for an old friend, and then we switched to this police officer, and it wasn't until he showed up and the kid ran, I was like, oh no, he's the friend. I should have caught that. I thought he was gonna come in to like the aftermath of whatever was happening with this between this guy and his old friend. No, he
Nope.
is the old friend.
He's
no.
the friend. Yep. Yeah,
Oh.
same. I was like, oh, okay.
So I don't know when I'm going to finish that story, but it's pretty involved. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of backstory to introduce. There's a whole plot. Yeah,
I
should be
feel
fun.
that,
When
but
it's done.
you did a really good job setting a good hook. And we also know that there's stakes, right? Like, he has a grandmother and a child waiting for him that may never see him again.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like just,
Damn, son.
And it's set, like, this scene is set where I grew up. That's a park in Hammond, Indiana. That's where I grew up.
Oh,
And,
wow.
I was wondering
um,
about the name of Sheridan. It sounded oddly specific.
Yeah. So, and my grandmother's name is Audria, although she's gonna be 95 in the next couple of weeks. And like my mother and her are from Panama, so there's different elements.
Yeah, I caught that
I
one.
kind of did of myself. So
The chocolate.
that's the nice thing about being a
Yes.
writer. You can just like insert yourself in a story and be like, I'm gonna be the hero.
Like, for me, I so rarely write about myself as is in a story. Two of the characters I tend to write about a lot are, they don't look like me, they don't sound like me at all, but one is very much like how I present to the outside world, and the other is like my internal world. Like, that's their personalities. But like writing like this is me in a story, I feel so exposed if I were to do that. I end up often writing about places I haven't been to or places or things I haven't done, because I'm like, the thing that is me in the story is so visceral and raw. I have to hide it amongst a bunch of things that have nothing to do with me.
Wow. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot more thought than you realize when it comes to writing a story.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. It's a process for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And because you can write a story, but then you got to go back and you got to make the corrections. You got to edit it, and like,
And
does this
especially
make
the
sense? Nah,
continuation.
not really.
And you gotta shore up your
Like-
weak points.
Even my Reyes series, like I have in mind like a 3-season arc, and in making it, like the story has evolved already from what I originally came up with. So I've been a little behind in working on that because I've been preparing for this to happen and writing, other little stories because I could easily spend all my time working on that series just because of the animation.
Mm.
But, I want there to be more than that. So that show might be a once a month thing just because I got to leave time for the rest of it and, work and family and,
Wondering, how do you balance your mini
Oh, I
writing
don't.
projects?
My wife would say like, you spend a lot of time working on these. Yeah, I know. So I appreciate her putting up with me and her support. So I know that without support, this wouldn't be possible.
Yes, it's good to have community support and familial support, but that's one of the things I've really come to love about like the XJW community is their willingness to kind of rally around you and support you, or at least when you ask for it.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own thing going, but when you ask, like, you have friends who want to be there to support you.
Yeah. So I think that's the only one of my stories that I'm gonna like read. I don't want to give out too much. I have other ones that I could probably read, but they're not as polished.
That's understandable.
You don't want to
I
give it
mean, that
all
was
away.
so much.
Yeah. And eventually I would like to write, a novel and publish a novel. But this is a great exercise, and I just really enjoy the community that comes with, um, writers and voice actors. Like for instance, I mentioned the Drabblecast. So there is someone that goes by the name of Ziovox, with an X, and he he's been in charge sort of a community program. What do you want to call it? Like a project to where they're doing these 100-word stories. It's sort of an offshoot of the main show, so it gets people involved. More people are writing stories, and that's where I got the idea to do these 100-word stories is from that. So he unfortunately was busy today, so I was going to actually have him on. He's from Canada, and he's got a really good voice. He's got a certain way of talking that's sort of like that creepy mad scientist sort of sound. So I actually have an idea for a story that I want to write for him to do. So
Just specifically based off his voice style.
yeah, his voice style.
Yeah.
But this is going to be, like I said, mostly my work, but I want to include others because it's good to work together.
A community effort.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Hopefully
anybody
it takes
here,
the
if you
pressure
haven't
off.
already, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it, and good things to come.
Yep, subscribe, support if you're able to, and it doesn't have to be a large amount.
Yeah.
Couple bucks if you have it. It's just a matter of giving, and when a bunch of people are able to give even a small amount, that adds up.
That's what community action's all about. Just whatever you can to support each other. So like, share, subscribe, donate what you can. Share.
Yeah, because some of these programs that I have to use, I really can't afford them. Like, it adds up, and so any help I can get is greatly appreciated, and you get to benefit from my stuff.
Yep. Enjoy the I just like how you take me on a little journey, just a minute journey. And the other one, your longer videos too. I also enjoy like Reyes and the other like longer ones.
I really like the hollows. I think about that one a bit more than I mean to.
That was my first
really good
try at like a real movie, if you want to think of it that way. It's not that long, but I mean, it's a lot of work. Like I see some of these channels and they'll have like a team of people because you'll see in the credits like
doing all that.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, a team would be awesome because it's just me. It's like, oh man. So if things take off, maybe it'll be a team that
Turn
way.
into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think we're gonna call it a show. And again, if you get an opportunity, check out the website. It's TaleTellerMedia.ca, and you can get all the links for everything there. And I also realized that some people prefer just audio, so I'm gonna have, I think it's what our RSS feed to do like an audio book versions of this. So I'll do an introduction to some of the stories, and people can listen if they prefer.
Just sharing your GFM link.
Yep. Thank you, Ryan, for doing that. We have the PayPal link as well in the chat. So that you guys all know, we'll be putting all of these links into the description of this video after the show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jonathan. I just wanted to say you do have 2 more unreleased short stories tucked away here, The Roommate and Living Things, if you wanted to exit with any of those. And there's also Jane Doe that we didn't get to.
Jane Doe is about 8 minutes long, so
Okay.
sure, why not? We'll go out on
All right.
a big one.
We'll go out on that. So I just want to thank you, Jonathan, for your time today. Thank you, guys. Like the ladies have mentioned, even a cup of coffee amount helps. We know that personally.
I like
All
coffee.
these little, yeah, exactly. But even the $3, it doesn't seem like a lot. And you might think, what's the point? Well, 3 of you, $3. That's a month of an editing program or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of the cheaper ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it does cost a lot, and the more that we receive, the more that gets put back into the show for you guys. So hopefully you all enjoy. Thank you to MJ2, who's hopefully having a rockin' time at his birthday party right now.
Yeah.
And I'll cue that up, Jonathan, while you say your goodbyes.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. We'll put the links to. I'll make sure that everybody has the links for the different streams for the actual channel, because I just looked at my phone and I don't know that people can just subscribe off of somebody else's stream. Does that work?
Say again.
Like say anybody watching from your channel, are they able to subscribe to my channel through that somehow?
I think only through links, because
Okay.
I'm looking at my screen now, like my live on YouTube, and it doesn't give me anything special. Like
You're exactly right, Ryan. You'd put the link for his channel on your channel, and people pop over to your channel to subscribe.
Yeah.
So that's it's a
But I
little
will
ugly.
post it in there again. I do wish that they would make it a bit more user friendly for things of that nature, because if we're able to live stream together, it would be nice if the comments were all cohesive and
Yeah,
it was
it's a work in
connected.
progress.
It is a work in progress, but it's in there so that way my friends go follow this amazing content creator and former J-Dub.
And check out Ryan's work if you're not from there. She has good
Thank
stuff too.
Appreciate you.
Okay, so we'll just end on that. I think we'll just have the video on screen, and then I guess we'll say bye for now. Thank you so much for helping out today.
Jane Doe by Jonathan Lee Wilson, narrated by the author. Dr. Andrew Keller had always trusted his hands. They were like obedient servants that always did exactly what he wanted them to do. But since the crash, they had betrayed him. They rebelled in quiet ways, a tremor that appeared only when he was alone. Lately, he was fighting those hands in the company of others. He needed to show the instruments of his trade who was boss. Under the operating room lights, he watched his fingers hover over the incision line like strangers. The nurse's voice cut softly through the noise of life-sustaining equipment. "Dr. Keller, are you all right? Are you ready to close?" He blinked. "Yes, let's proceed." The patient's vitals were calm. The machine whispered a steady rhythm. Yet something gnawed at him. A momentary flash of headlights, a scream,
the shattering that followed. He finished the closure and stripped off his gloves. Good work, everyone. Later in the locker room, he sat in silence. The fluorescent lights buzzed. He rubbed the scar along his temple, the one that had never really healed. His phone vibrated on the bench beside him. He'd just spent 4 hours patching someone together, and he'd have to prepare to do it again. A text message alerted him to a female in her mid-20s with trauma to her head and chest. Keller stared at the screen until the letters blurred. The trauma bay was alive with motion, nurses shouting vitals, the sound of squeaking gurney wheels, and the quiet yet pained expressions of the injured. On a stretcher in front of him lay a young woman with dark hair, her face pale and streaked with blood. "Dr. Keller," said the attending, "can you handle this? We've got a lot of fires to put out." "Of course, I've got this," said Dr. Keller. He stepped forward automatically. The movements came back to him like muscle memory. The nurse handed him the chart. No ID, no wallet, no phone. Jane Doe. He examined her x-rays and saw the puzzle pieces of this woman's chest and thought about what he'd need to do to put her back together again. As he studied the image of this woman's chest cavity, her eyelids fluttered. Her gaze found him. "You made it," she whispered hoarsely. He froze. "What did you say?" But she was already unconscious again. Hours later, Keller sat alone in the dim ICU. The woman lay silent behind glass, machines humming beside her. Her vitals were stable, her breathing soft and steady. He turned to leave, but the monitor alarmed. Her O2 was down, and her heart rate spiked. He rushed back to her side. Her eyes were open now, watching him. "Do you know where you are? What's your name?" he asked quietly. "Yes," she said. Her voice was calm, almost detached. "We're in the same place. I know your face. You were there too." He frowned. "I don't understand. Do I know you?" She nodded faintly. "You were driving. We both were." Dr. Keller's brow creased. Flashes of his own accident came to mind. For a brief moment, he thought he remembered her. "That's impossible," Keller said under his breath, his voice shaking. "It was months ago." Her expression softened. "It's okay. I forgive you." The heart monitor began to race. Alarms shrieked. The staff rushed in, but she didn't look away from him. "Go home," she whispered. "You'll see it." And the flatline tone filled the room. By morning, her bed was empty. No record of her admission existed. No one in administration knew her name. She never gave it to him. Keller left the hospital with a hollow ache in his chest. The streets were slick with rain as he drove. The world blurred with the soft reflections from the headlights. When he reached the intersection, that intersection, he slowed. The twisted guardrail was still there. Hadn't they repaired the damage months ago? Flowers wrapped in red ribbon adorned a small wooden cross. Beneath the flowers, a plastic photo frame lay face down on the pavement. He glanced closer, felt his breath catch. The wipers kept time, Dr. Keller's heartbeat. He reached for the frame, but his hands rebelled again. He willed them forward and picked up the frame. A photo stared back at him, his own face. The note at the bottom of the portrait read, "In loving memory of Dr. Andrew Keller." The color drained from him. He threw the frame as if it burned his skin. Glass exploded from it as it smashed against the guardrail. Quickly running back to his car, he tried to catch his breath as he sat down in the driver's seat. He gripped the steering wheel, shaking his head. No, that's not right. He drove home in silence. The house was dark and cold. He flicked the light switch. Nothing. The faint scent of smoke lingered. He moved through the hallway toward the living room and stopped. Half the car from the crash sat embedded in the wall, its metal twisted and burned. The airbag drooped open. Rainwater pooled beneath the tires. Inside the wreckage,
Slumped behind the wheel was Dr. Andrew Keller. His own dead eyes stared back at him. Keller stumbled backward, heart pounding, breath shallow. Voice came from behind him. "My name is Naomi." "What happened?" he said as he stumbled to catch himself. He turned. The young woman stood there whole again. Her face was calm. "Why?" he whispered. "Because it was my time. And it was your time too. We can't escape it." He looked down. His hands were fading, transparent. "Naomi, who are you?" he asked. "Just another lost soul. We should go now," she said, reaching out a hand. He hesitated, then took it. The room brightened. The wreckage dissolved into light. Dr. Andrew Keller had saved countless lives. It was time for him to finally rest.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Thanks for coming.